Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. 16 Pakistani YouTube channels banned for spreading provocative and communally sensitive content. India conveys strong sentiments to BBC regarding its reporting on the terror attack. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi at his residence. Further firepower to bolster Indian Navy's blue water capabilities as India poised to finalize 63,000 crore deal for the acquisition of 26 Rafale marine fighter jets from France. Canadian voters all set to cast their ballots on Monday. Incumbent Liberal Prime Minister Mark Carney and Conservative Pierre Poilievre face off in the crucial election. And in sports, Liverpool clinched record equaling 20th Premier League title, beat Tottenham Hotspur 5-1 in front of home crowd at Anfield to win the trophy. After the suspension of the Indus Water Treaty, another crackdown by the Indian government on Pakistan as the centre has banned several Pakistani YouTube channels following the Pahalgam terror attack. 16 Pakistani YouTube channels with a total of 63 million subscribers have been banned in India for spreading provocative and communally sensitive content in the aftermath of the Pahalgam terror attack. The YouTube channels have been banned on the Union Home Ministry's recommendations. The banned platforms include YouTube channels of news outlets like Dawn, Sama TV, ARY News, BOI News, Rafale, Geo News and Suno News. YouTube channels of journalists Irshad Bhatti, Asma Shirazi, Umar Chima and Munif Farooq have also been banned. Other handles that have been banned include the Pakistan Reference, Sama Sports, Uzair Cricket and Razinama. India has also conveyed its strong sentiments to the BBC India head regarding its reportage on Pahalgam terror attack. As conveyed the country's strong sentiments to Jackie Martin, India head BBC regarding their reporting on the terror attack. Formal letter has been written to BBC on terming terrorists as militants in their news dispatches. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, along with National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi at his residence in New Delhi. The meeting comes 3 days after the all-party meet held in Parliament premises on the Pahalgam terror attack, which was chaired by the Defence Minister. The meeting also comes a day after Chief of Defence Staff Anil Chauhan briefed the Defence Minister on the critical decisions made to counter Pakistan in the aftermath of the deadly Pahalgam terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir. DD India's Akshay Dongri joins us from New Delhi. Akshay, we've told our viewers that Akshay, good morning. We've told our viewers about the meeting between Prime Minister and Rajnath Singh along with National Security Advisor. Get us more, what all important points are expected to come up?
Well, the overall security situation is the agenda about which the meeting took place, is what our sources are indicating at. This was a highly confidential meeting, however, Preeti, and the minutes of the meeting or the topics that have been discussed have not been made public as of now. However, what we can report is that a strategy on how to counter terrorism, how to respond to Pakistan in an appropriate manner, along with the induction of the Rafale M's that is going to take place were part of the discussions. In fact, they were likely part of the discussions as far as the meeting between the Raksha Mantri, that is the Defence Minister of India, and the Pradhan Mantri, that is the Prime Minister of India, at the residence of the Prime Minister in New Delhi. So what we are expecting from this meeting is an overall security situation being briefed to the Prime Minister by the Raksha Mantri. Yesterday as well, the Defence Minister had a meeting with the National Security Advisor of India about the ceasefire violations that are taking place at the LOC, or the firings at the LOC that is happening after the Pahalgam attack, and after India started to build up as far as its forces and security apparatus is concerned, not only in Jammu and Kashmir but in all the border areas between India and Pakistan. Clearly Pakistan is rattled, be it the Indus Water Treaty or the kind of force that India is also showcasing as far as responding to this bloody bloody and heartless killing of 26 tourists that has taken place in Pahalgam of Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan is directly involved in it, and what we have seen in recent days is that despite the denials that have come out, there is ample proof that Pakistan has been absolutely not only involved, but it was collaborating and planning this kind of an attack for several months now. The kind of speeches that have been given by the Pakistani generals, clearly hate mongering and war mongering are being done by Pakistan, not only lower level officers or soldiers or politicians, but if the chief of the army staff of Pakistan is making such provocative speech, then you can imagine the kind of situation that happens behind the camera. So clearly all of this situation and how to be dealt with it properly is being monitored by all the security experts, all the top-ranking officials in the Indian security forces, and also the Defence Ministry, and all of that is being done at the instructions of the Prime Minister as well. And each and every hour update is being given to Prime Minister Narendra Modi directly as far as his office is concerned. Back to you.
All right, Akshay, thank you for joining in. As of now, we'll come back to you again once the meeting ends. So that was our correspondent telling us more about the meeting the Defence Minister and the National Security Advisor are having with the Prime Minister. We'll keep you updated. Meanwhile, India and France are set to sign a 63,000 crore deal for 26 Rafale marine combat aircraft. The report also claimed officials from the Indian Defence Ministry and the French ambassador to India will represent the two sides at the signing event. The 26 Rafale marine fighter jets are urgently required for deployment on Indian aircraft carriers, particularly INS Vikrant, which is now in service. The Rafale M jets will be customized to meet Indian requirements and will be integrated into INS Vikrant. These carrier-borne fighters are required as a stopgap solution until the development of an indigenous carrier-borne fighter jet is completed. The Rafale M is widely considered among the most capable fighters of its class in the world and is only operated presently by the French Navy. Let's take a look at key features of this Rafale. Reinforced airframe and landing gear for carrier deck landings, foldable wingtips for space optimization, advanced avionics and sensors. Also, the Rafale M is equipped with versatile weapon systems, omni-role capability for air superiority and air defense. It is also capable of close air support and reconnaissance. Upgrades incorporated from Indian Air Force Rafale fleet. It also enhances proficiency in operating and maintaining jets. So up your screens, we have the salient features of Rafale M, the carrier-optimized fighter jet, a deal worth 23,000 crore rupees will be signed between India and France. Jammu and Kashmir Assembly on Monday condemned the Pahalgam terror attack and endorsed the diplomatic measures announced by the Union government after the meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Security. Deputy Chief Minister Surendra Chaudhary moved a resolution at the Jammu and Kashmir Legislative Assembly during a special session to address the April 22nd terror attack at Pahalgam. The resolution emphasized that the attack as an assault on the values of Kashmiriyat, the Constitution and the spirit of unity, peace and harmony in Jammu and Kashmir, and also expressed full solidarity with the victims and their families, offering condolences to those affected. The resolution condemned the terror attack and expressed solidarity with the victims. Members of the Assembly also observed a 2-minute silence to pay homage to the 26 people killed in the April 22nd attack. The resolution was recognized. In fact, the resolution also recognized the sacrifice of Saeed Adil Hussain Shah, who laid down his life while attempting to save tourists during the attack. Days after the devastating terror attack in Pahalgam, the serene valley in Jammu and Kashmir is gradually returning to a sense of normalcy. Despite the terror attack, holidays and tourists were spotted returning to the picturesque resort town of Pahalgam. A heartening scene unfolded on the streets of Pahalgam over the weekend as tourists strolled down the town, bringing a wave of resilience, optimism, a sense of normalcy and hope back to the region. Dal Lake, the lifeline of Srinagar, is coming back to normalcy after the terrorist attack in Pahalgam. TD India's correspondent Vishal Baristo brings us this report from there.
I'm here at the Dal Lake in Srinagar, and tourists have started pouring back here in Dal Lake to give a befitting reply to the disastrous terror attack and at Pahalgam. Let's talk to some of them and find out. I've got a youngster here. What's your name?
Vedant.
Vedant, where are you coming from?
I'm coming from Indore, MP.
Okay, so how long have you been here?
I've been here for 3 days.
And how has been the visit?
The visit has been amazing. It is a very good experience in Kashmir, and the nature here is very beautiful.
ये बताइए कि आप कहाँ कहाँ घूमे हैं और क्या उस अटैक के बाद कुछ आपको लग रहा है कि यहाँ के लोगों के बारे में क्या कहना है?
हम लोग डल लेक गए हैं। यहाँ के लोग बहुत अच्छे हैं, कोऑपरेटिव है, बहुत अच्छे हैं और उनका नेचर बहुत अच्छा है।
The hospitality is amazing.
Hospitality is amazing. What do you have to say about Kashmir? और उस अटैक के बाद क्या आपको कुछ घबराहट हो रही है या आप बिल्कुल सेफ महसूस कर रहे हैं?
बहुत सेफ्टी है और सब लोग बहुत कोऑपरेटिव है और सब लोग बहुत साथ देते हैं, सपोर्टिव है सब लोग।
कब तक रहेंगे आप?
हम लोग 30 तक है, 1 को हम लोग की वापस फ्लाइट रिटर्न।
Okay. So how? What do you have to say about Kashmir?
It is a very beautiful place and there are many places to visit and yes.
So what memories are you going to take back?
Like
You love the place?
yes, actually.
And would you like to come again?
Peaceful place and yes, I actually want to come again
पहलगाम भी
here.
जाने वाले हैं। अभी हम लोग पहलगाम भी जाने वाले हैं। अभी मन में कोई डर नहीं है क्योंकि यहाँ के लोग बहुत कोऑपरेटिव है और बहुत अच्छे लोग हैं यहाँ के। आप आओ, अपना देश है, यहाँ पे अच्छे से रहो, बहुत अच्छा देश है। मतलब आप आराम से आ सकते हो। यहाँ की हवाई वाइब्स बहुत अच्छी है यहाँ की। आप आओगे तो पता ही नहीं लगेगा आपको कि यहाँ पे कुछ हुआ है, अटैक हुआ है, यहाँ पे कुछ है ही नहीं, बिल्कुल भी कुछ भी नहीं है, बहुत अच्छा है यहाँ पे।
So there you hear from these tourists. They are from Indore, from the central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh, and they are all enjoying. They have all praises for the local Kashmiris about their hospitality, about the natural beauty, and they are all enjoying. They don't feel unsafe, and they also plan to go to Pahalgam. So this is a message for you sitting across the border that India and Indians will not be cowed down. The love and bonding between people will always be there. With cameraman Mohit Uike in Srinagar, this is Vishal Baristo for TD India.
As the 48-hour deadline given to Pakistani nationals present in India on SAARC visas to leave ended on Sunday, April 27th, as of now, 536 Pakistanis have returned via the Atari Wagah joint checkpost in Amritsar. Meanwhile, a total of 836 Indians have also returned from Pakistan till Sunday evening. The decision instructing Pak nationals to leave India was taken during the Central Committee on Security meeting called on April 23rd in the aftermath of the Pahalgam terrorist attack, a day before in which 26 tourists were killed. You're watching DD India Live. We're heading for a short break. Stay with us.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India Live. Canadian voters are all set to cast their ballots today after months of uncertainty influenced by US President Donald Trump's unpredictable global tariff policies. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney called for the April 28th election in March, shortly after replacing former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Voters will choose their local representative to the House of Commons, but the ballot will not include a direct vote for Prime Minister. Mark Carney and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre campaigned across the country on Sunday, the final day of the 5-week campaign, marking their pitches to the voters. Carney met with supporters after making a case a day earlier in Ontario that he is best placed to steer Canada through a crisis triggered by Trump's tariffs. Poilievre has promised to reduce spending on foreign aid and axe a federal sales tax on Canadian-made autos as long as US tariffs are in place. There are 28 million registered voters eligible to elect members of parliament in 343 individual constituencies, also known as ridings. Canada has 6 time zones, so voting is staggered to ensure that most people cast their ballots at the same time. Let's take a look at this report on the poll process in Canada.
Canada goes to polls on April 28, with polls indicating a close race between Prime Minister Mark Carney's ruling Liberals and the official opposition Conservatives of Pierre Poilievre. There are 28 million registered voters eligible to elect members of parliament in 343 individual constituencies, also known as ridings. The number of ridings has been expanded from 338 since the last election in 2021. Now let's understand in detail the election process. Canada is a constitutional monarchy and parliamentary democracy, rooted in the Westminster tradition. The system involves 3 main components: the Crown, the Senate, and the House of Commons. Responsibilities for lawmaking are shared among federal, provincial, and territorial governments, with judicial oversight ensuring constitutional adherence. The Constitution governs the roles of the Crown as well as the executive and legislative branches. During a federal election, all Canadian citizens who are at least 18 years old on election day can vote in their electoral district. The ceremonial head of state is King Charles III, represented domestically by the Governor-General. The real power, however, lies with the Prime Minister, who leads the government and must have the support of the House of Commons, Canada's lower chamber of parliament. The House of Commons currently has 343 seats, each one representing a riding or electoral district. Canadians don't vote directly for the Prime Minister, they vote for their local MP. The party that wins the most seats typically forms the government. If they win 172 or more, that's a majority. Anything less, and it's a minority government, requiring cooperation from other parties to pass legislation and survive key votes. Now let's understand who can contest election in Canada. The candidate must be a Canadian citizen and at least 18 years old on election day. The candidate must not be a member of the Legislative Assembly of a province or territory and must not be a chief electoral officer and must not be a judge appointed by the Governor-General or election officer. Also, the candidate must not be imprisoned in a correctional institution. Political parties need to choose candidates to run in an election. As soon as the election writs are issued, each party must decide who will be its candidate for each riding. A candidate can also run for election without being affiliated with a party, as either an independent candidate or a candidate with no affiliation. The right to run in a federal election is protected by the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. In most cases, a clear winner emerges after the ballots are counted, but sometimes the vote count is very close or even tied. If there is a tie or a close vote, the ballots need to be counted again in a judicial recount. A judge presides over these recounts. Bureau Report, DD India.
Cardinals from all over the world have begun convening in Rome to prepare to hold a conclave to select a successor for Pope Francis. Dozens of so-called princes of the church from across the world have been gathering at the Vatican. At 700 GMT on Monday, they will hold their 5th meeting, at which they are likely to fix a conclave date. Experts have suggested it may take place on May 5th or 6th. shortly after 9 days of papal mourning, which ends on May 4th. There are 252 cardinals, but only 135 of them are aged under 80 and therefore eligible to vote for a new pope. Most are relatively young, and for many it is their first conclave. The vote, held in Sistine Chapel, is highly secretive and follows strict rules and ceremonial procedures. To sports now, Liverpool roared back from a goal behind to thrash Tottenham Hotspur 5-1 and wrap up the Premier League title in style on a momentous day at Anfield. Liverpool required only a point to ensure a record equaling 20th English title with 4 games remaining, but they were rocked in the 12th minute as Dominic Solanke headed Tottenham in the front. However, the title party was only temporarily silenced as Liverpool struck back with a Louis Diaz tap-in, in fact, and Alexis Mac Allister thunderbolt and a Cody Gakpo shot after half-time. Later, a one-sided second half saw Mohamed Saleh and a 6-match scoring drought in the 63rd minute. Tottenham's Destiny Udogie, meanwhile, bundled in an own goal to complete a miserable afternoon for the visitors, who have now lost 19 Premier League games this season. Liverpool have now matched Manchester United's English titles record, having 82 points from 34 games played with Arsenal. In cricket, Royal Challengers Bengaluru clinched top spot in the ongoing Indian Premier League with a 6-wicket win over Delhi Capitals in New Delhi on Sunday. Chasing 163 for the win, Krunal Pandya blasted a 47-ball 73 not out as Bengaluru achieved the target with 9 balls to spare. Virat Kohli also hit his 6th half-century of the season to claim the orange cap momentarily, but struggled during his 51-run knock of 47. Meanwhile, for Delhi, KL Rahul top scored with a 39-ball 41, but Delhi lost wickets in regular intervals before Tristan Stubbs' 18-ball 34 lifted them to a competitive total of 162 for 8. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Josh Hazlewood snapped 3 and 2 wickets respectively, while Krunal Pandya and Yash Dayal accounted for 1 wicket each to restrict Delhi Capitals. In other news, the stage is all set for the World Audio Visual Entertainment Summit, or WAVES 2025, which will take place from 1st of May to 4th of May in Mumbai. Let's listen in what Oscar-winning Indian composer and musician A.R. Rahman has to say about this mega event.
Echo started in a small studio in Chennai called Panchatan Recorded and echoed across the world. That's the power of our stories, our music. Now it's time for World Audio Visual and Entertainment Summit to take that power even further. Join the movement that will make Indian music unstoppable. Let's create history together at World Audio Visual Entertainment Summit, WAVES 2025, 1st May to 4th May.
All right, that's it in this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.
You already dance to Bollywood music at weddings. Now imagine the